Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Welcome to another lecture, and in this lecture we are going to continue with the grammar topic tenses. In the earlier parts I had taught you about the present tense, the past tense, and this portion of the video is going to cover the future tense. So we shall talk about the future tense in this part of the lecture. The first subcategory of the future tense is simple future tense. Now, what do we mean by the simple future tense? Now, one thing that we know, future is when we talk about future, we are referring to something that has not taken place right now, but will take place in the near future, right? So, simple future tense. First, let us talk about the rule. Subject plus either will or shall plus first form of the verb plus the object. Now, this is the basic rule for the simple future tense. Subject plus will, shall plus the first form of the verb and the object. Now, how and where do we use will and where do we use shall? Now, you have to remember with I and we always use shall, and with the rest of the subjects we can use will. For example, they will go to Nepal next month. What is my subject? They. And that is why, what did I use with they? Will. So, will plus first form of the verb, that is go, will go to Nepal next month. I shall buy a new pen tomorrow. Now, what is my subject here? I. And like I told you, with I and we will always use shall. So, I shall, and first form of the verb is buy. So, I shall buy a new pen. Next sentence. We shall go for a picnic next month. So, where are we going to go for the picnic? We shall go. With we will be using shall. First form of the verb, which is go. So, we shall go for a picnic next month. So, what did you learn so far? The basic rule of the simple future tense is subject plus either will or shall plus the first form of the verb and the object. With I and we will always use shall, and with all the other subjects we can use will. Now, what are the uses of the simple future tense? We use simple future tense to talk about something or to say that some action will happen in the future. So, some action that will take place in the future, we are going to use the simple future tense for that. Very simple. All the above examples that I have already written hold for this first use also. So, we shall go to, let's say, Sikkim next year. So, going to the Sikkim next year is again something that will take place in the future. So, shall plus the first form of the verb, which is go. Rohan will buy a new house next month. Again, something that will take place in the future, and therefore I use the simple future tense for that. If I give you another example, he will play football tomorrow. When will he play the football? Tomorrow. So this will take place in the future. That is why will plus the first form of the verb. I shall speak to you in a minute. So when am I going to speak to you? In a minute. That is why shall plus speak, which is the first form of. So the first use of the simple future tense is to talk about some action that will take place in the future. The next use of the simple future tense is to predict events that will happen in the to predict something. Predict means something that you are not sure of, you are only making an assumption. So to predict events that will take place in the future, we use the simple future tense for that. For example, if I say, it will rain tomorrow. Now we can never be sure whether it is going to rain next moment or not. If it is raining, that is a present event, but you can never be very sure about some future thing. So this is what? This is a prediction that you are making that it will rain tomorrow. So that is why will plus the first form of the verb. Second, if I give you another example, India will win the match. Now this is again a prediction that you are making. You are never sure, you can never be sure rather whether India is going to win the match or not. But if you say that it will win the match, then that clearly means you are talking about an event which is just an assumption that you are making. Now you have to remember that words like tomorrow, next year, next week, next month, later, these are the words that are used to express this tense. So we use these words to express the simple future. Now the next subtopic of the future tense is the future continuous tense. What is the rule for the future continuous tense now? Let us talk about it first. Subject plus will or shall plus be plus first form of the verb plus ing and the object. So the subject plus will shall plus be plus first form of the verb ing and the object. For example, he will be leaving for Paris in 1 hour. What is my subject? He. With E, we use will. Be plus the ing form of the verb, that is leaving, and my object. I shall be studying for the next 2 hours. Since my subject is I, therefore I use shall plus be plus the ing form of the verb for the next hour. So I shall be studying for the next 2 hours. They will be playing the game tomorrow. This is my subject. With they, we always use will. So will plus be plus the ing form of the verb and my object. So they will be playing the game tomorrow. So this is how we make a sentence using the rule of the future continuous tense. Now what are the uses of the future continuous tense? It simply talks about an action that has been planned or tell us about events that are likely to happen in the future. So those actions that have been planned. If there's an action which has already been planned or an event that will take place in the future. So we use the future continuous tense. For example, if I have already planned, I shall be reading this book tonight. Now what is this? This is a plan that I have made for the night, that I shall be reading this book. So I means shall be plus reading this book tonight. If I give you another example, they will be preparing for the festival. So this is again an event that talks about something that will take place in the future. There is a festival that is falling in place and they will be preparing for it for soon. If I give you another example, Peter, yes. So Peter will be leaving for the airport in 10 minutes. So Peter, we use will plus be and the ing form of the verb. So Peter will be leaving for airport in 10 minutes. So where do we use the future continuous tense? To talk about some action that you have already planned that will take place in the future, or anything for that matter that will take place in the future, we use the future continuous tense for that. The next and the last subtopic, subhead of the future tense is future perfect tense. First, the rule: subject plus will or shall have third form of the verb and the. So what is the rule? We first use the subject followed by either will or shall plus have plus third form of the verb and the. For example, I shall have completed my task. So with I, we always use shall, that is why I use shall. Plus have, the only helping verb to be used with will and shall is have. So have plus third form of the verb and the object. So I shall have completed the task. If I give you another example, they will have reached Dehradun. So where will they have reached? They, we use will, so will plus have, third form of the verb which is reached, Dehradun. If I give you another example, Ram will have talked about this. So my subject is Ram, will, have and third form of the verb. So this is the basic structure of the future perfect tense. We use subject plus either will or shall plus have, third form of the verb and the object. Now there is only one use that is there for the future perfect tense, and that is to talk about some action that you are assuming to be. If you are talking about an action which you are simply assuming, you are simply predicting that some action must have been completed by now. You don't know whether it has or it hasn't. This is just a prediction from your end. This is just an assumption from your end. So for those, we use the future perfect tense. For example, she will have done her work by. I don't know whether she will have completed it or not. There is a strong possibility that she is still working on it. But I am just assuming that by now she will have completed her work. So she plus will plus have, third form of the verb and the object. I give you another example. They will have landed. So I don't know whether their plane has landed or not. I am just on the basis of time assuming that by now it must have landed. So they will have landed by now. If I give you another example, Rita will have received the check. So again, I don't know whether this has taken place or not. I'm just assuming that she will have received the check. So this is just an assumption from my end that by now she will have received a check. And with this, my dear students, we come to the end of the whole grammar topic, that is tenses. In different parts, we taught you first about the present tense, then the past tense, and in this lecture, I taught you about the future tense. The rules for all the three different types of tenses have been explained to you. The examples have been given to you in numbers, and I very well hope that that this grammar topic is very much clear to you.